1-1. This is going to penalties.
Oh God, that is not good. 180 minutes, 8 goals scored, and yet we cannot differentiate these two teams. Welcome to Menace the Monk. We are reviewing the FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Manchester City. And I am pleased to tell you that we are joined by two absolutely brilliant fan groups from Bangalore. We are joined by Bangalore Cop and Bangalore Citizens. From Bangalore Citizens, we have Sharun. Welcome, Sharun, on Menace the Monk. And from B Corp, we have Pramod and Badi. Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, cheers.
Good. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for asking.
Brilliant. Sharun, I'll come to you first. Now, these two teams, Liverpool and Manchester City, we've been relentless. We've been at each other's throat for quite some time now. What do you make of Liverpool when you talk about not just the FA Cup or not just the Premier League? What do you make of Liverpool and what do you make of where we are right now?
I really don't want to speak about what happened before. I mean, the last season. Let's talk about just this season. It's been huge, right? Even when you're talking about City, when Liverpool is not involved, you still make an example of Liverpool's defense, right? There are a lot of things that you think about, and then now, obviously, there are a few slip-ups that we had in the middle, and Liverpool picked up. So you realize these guys are not just tailenders, right? They're not just trailing back. They're actually working and they're fighting for that, for the league itself. I think that, at least for now, trading to the fact that the league is super boring, apart from obviously City and Liverpool were fighting it out.
Yeah,
it's getting really exciting, right? Me and Pramod were in a different conversation as well, where we were talking about the City Liverpool match. The 1-1 draw is a little anticlimactic, but I'm a little satisfied and a little good for my heart as well. Now that it's all settled down, it's just the other teams that we have to. That it's just not that interesting anymore. But it's just the City Liverpool match, the first leg, the second leg. It's been huge for us. Even in the beginning, we knew that something's going to come away. It's you expect to lose as well, right? As a fan, you don't want to, but you do that when you're playing a team like Liverpool. So yeah, kudos.
Right. And Pramod,
Yeah.
dude, so we have not beaten City in this season. City have not beaten us this season. This time there will be a winner, right?
Yes.
But do you see that happening in the 90 minutes? What have you made of Manchester City?
Okay, so I have a very conflicting for the game, for the upcoming game. I have a very conflicting thought. Okay, first of all, the games that has happened. Okay, the Premier League games that has happened. It is massive for both the teams. Okay,
Yeah.
It's massive for both the teams, and for the first time, I felt both the teams were like kind of knew it, like this is massive, and they
Yeah.
were playing with that emotion. Okay. Frankly, City didn't look very nervous. Okay, we did. We looked nervous as hell. We
Right.
looked really, really bad mindset to bring to the game, because this was actually it just felt like Pep's puppets, and the Klopp's puppets. They're having yeah, go on. It's like everyone has stripped off their individuality and it's just a massive ego battle between the two. That's how this game looked like. Okay. And both the teams are in this thing that, oh my God, we have a lot to lose. Okay. They are both playing with that emotion, but we were just plain nervous. Okay. They at least didn't look nervous. City didn't look nervous. Okay. We did.
Right. Now, Wadi, there are three competitions. There is Premier League, the Champions League, but let's focus on the FA Cup because that is what this preview is about. How is this suddenly more than just a semi-final for us? Do you think that?
Lord,
And for City, maybe.
It's probably going to be the only trophy for whichever team wins this. That's my gut feeling. Okay. So I think it's either going to be City or it's going to be Liverpool who'll do the double, who'll do the Premier League and the Champions League double. Okay. It just scripted that way. Okay. And so this is the minor league trophy of sorts. So I think it's important for us too. Big time, because there's a 50 chance that we win the Champions League, 50-50 we win the Premier League, and we know in both the places we have the same rival, right? Same competition. So if I was Klopp, I would go full on for the FA Cup, and I think we also have an advantage especially after the way City played Atletico, the treatment they gave them, right? I think it's advantage us a little more energy. At least mentally, we are more ready for the battle on Saturday. So I hope we go for it.
Yeah, I mean it's uncharted territory for us. We've not seen us go so forward in the cup competitions anyway. So yeah, it is uncharted. But Sharon, coming to Manchester City, I personally thought that in the game in the Premier League game, we saw a very different Manchester City. I've never seen Manchester City attempt so many long balls. Do you see Manchester City taking the same strategy into this game, or do you think that you'll try something different?
I don't think they'll do it again, simply because you know how Liverpool's defense tracks down very quickly, right? But then they've taken advantage of the fact that we do press a lot at the third half, right? So they've taken advantage of that. The Premier League clash was just us trying to take advantage of the fact that if you're taking long balls, might obviously surprise them a little, but it didn't, obviously. Right? I mean, I'm not talking about the wings right now, but it didn't really surprise them, at least in the second half anymore. Right. So it's not something that we'll try again. Stick to the same game. The tension's obviously gone down. The only reason why City did not look nervous in the matches before was that they were, but it's just that they have a very strict regime, right? They operate in a single way. So it seems like that it's business as usual. Tensions obviously will reduce to an extent. Like Vadan said, FA Cup is like a minor title for both of them. It's just the league and then Champions League after that. But I think both these teams, especially City in my case, would stick to the usual game. I really hope Pep does not really complicate things. But only his sister probably knows that what he's going to do tomorrow. So
right. And Pramod, it's also weird because this game was it felt very weird because it felt like City were trying to do what Liverpool usually do, and Liverpool were trying to do what City usually do. So it is, and that brings me to my next question. This rivalry between Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, do you think it is the greatest rivalry the Premier League has seen, as is the argument that a lot of people throw around?
Yeah, so I kind of have a long answer, so bear with me. This whole thing, right? What the City trying to ape we trying to ape them.
Right.
That's not going to happen in the FA Cup game because nothing high is riding on this. Okay, I feel it's going to be a whole different game. Okay, they're going to play the natural game. They're going to stick to that. Okay.
Sharon Vardy, do you guys agree with him? He said that there is nothing riding on it. Do you guys agree with him?
I mean, yeah. So you know what? Like I told you, right? The tensions are pretty low right now for the FA Cup. The kind of the heart racing, assumption that you had for the Premier League is not exactly the same in FA Cup. Yes, it's an important cup.
Yeah. Sorry, Pramod, you were saying something.
Yeah. See, it is like this. Yeah, it's like this. Okay, it's like Tinkerbell effect. Something is important when a lot of people think it is important. Okay. Yeah. In the current scenario, in the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, a lot of players themselves or the fans themselves, they don't consider FA Cup as like a very huge silverware. Okay. And especially when there are like so many other things riding. Okay. I mean, in 2000s, in the earlier era, there were players who like, oh my God, I'd love to play the FA Cup final. So it was a whole different thing. So anyway, that is a whole different, that is a discussion for another day. But talking about rivalry, okay, Sharon and I had this conversation on another podcast about this. And we were talking about how this rivalry, objectively looking at it, this rivalry is the best I've ever seen, is the best we would be seeing, okay, because it has actually not been this intense. So after like 10-15 years, people are going to look at this rivalry that it's going to, I'm giving a timeline for this. Okay. This will continue for 2 more years. Okay. It'll make it the same stretch, that 6-year stretch. Okay. Because I don't think it is sustainable for 2 teams to do this for a very long time. But this is also revolutionary. Data analysis of Liverpool will be talked about 15 years from now. Okay, what City is doing right now, the way their management thinks, I mean, every like little things. I mean, the way they are pushing. It's not revolution just in the tactical standpoint. It is. The rivalry is amazing also in the management standpoint.
Right.
The way the clubs are being run, the way we are looking towards how to make this sustainable, how to make this even better. So and like you can put the numbers, you can look at the numbers, the last 4 years, the points accumulated by these 2 teams. I mean, that should be end of debate.
But coming back to this game, Wadi, and we'll talk about the Pep and Klopp rivalry while towards the end of the video. But what kind of approach do you think Liverpool will take in this particular game?
Dude, the thing is, the City-Liverpool game, it's going to be as intense as ever. I think both the teams are going to go, because if they just win the semi-finals, I think they are lifting the trophy in the other hand. I think they're just one step away, and I think the other finals is not going to be as crucial. If we beat City here, I think it'll be a easier route in the finals. I think Chelsea will be a little simpler. I think same thing for City. If they beat us in the semis, they've probably beaten a better, tougher opponent, and they have more confidence and then a greater chance to win the finals also. Okay, but yeah, that's what I think. I think both teams are going to go belt it out. Gut feeling says Liverpool has a slight advantage here because we have a little less to lose. City have a lot more to lose.
Exactly.
I think that plays in our favor. And even at the end of the last game, right, against Man City, I think Klopp kind of wanted a draw. I don't think he wanted a victory. Okay, I'm not sure about Pep. Okay, I think Pep badly wanted that.
I'm not so sure, yeah.
I think Klopp was okay because he knew that we can pick our fights, we can pick our battles, and then eventually when we need to win, we can win. And I think the 7 games that we have, I think that's going to be crucial. So I think Klopp has, also trained, and the mental state of all the players also has been, groomed such that these knockout games are utmost priority. And even speaking of the and see, one other question which you asked Shannon that time, okay, which was like really good. How City are going to attack? I think they're going to attack the same way. Okay, pretty much every team right now is attacking Liverpool through long balls, trying to catch us off guard, the high line. Right, I think that seems like the clearest weakness. But to be honest, that's the closest anybody can score a goal. It's tough to penetrate through the lines, between the lines against us. Offside traps, high lines are probably the easiest way for any team. I think City did that really well.
Yeah.
The Jesus ball was so pre-planned, premeditated.
I don't know what that was. But despite having that weakness, Matip does track back very quickly,
So the thing is, they're all good, okay, but you can't expect them to be good all the fucking time.
All the time. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
There's a one-off time when it happens, okay, and it happens eventually. I mean, I'm like, okay, cool. For the number of times we catch a player offside, a forward, it's a psychological toll on players. When forwards, they get so pissed, okay, when they have to run past the defense, try to probably take a shoot, score, and all. They're like mentally exhausted, hoping they get a goal, but then they are told that they're offside. And it happens for a lot of players. I think the Liverpool defense is going that way. Every game, there's at least 2-3 people caught offside, 2-3 different players who are caught offside. Okay, and I think we'll have to use that also to our advantage. The problem with Benfica was Gomez and Tsimikas, they don't have the same, let's say, they're not used to playing the same rhythm as Matip and Konate. That is where I think the synchronization wasn't there with the defense. Against City, absolutely not. They're going to go for the long ball. They're going to go for the kill in a similar way. And I think we should keep it. I think just VVD and Matip, again, we just come to the rescue. That's all I have to do.
Right. Guys, a couple more questions before we finish this off. Sharon, I'll start with you. Now, this game is at Wembley, right? And with Wembley, with finals, semi-finals, comes the accusations, which not accusations, the thing that happens with Pep, which I believe there is a little bit of truth to it, of Pep overthinking. Do you see Pep overthinking this particular game?
Pep Roulette has come back to bite on our ass a lot of times. It's worked on us, and we usually don't talk about it. I'll be honest. It's worked, and he's a tactical genius. It does happen with Klopp. It happens with Pep.
Yeah.
More often with Pep. I really hope he doesn't start the relay again. Otherwise, it's going to be very bad, especially like with a team like Liverpool. I mean, if it was United or Chelsea, yes, I would have. It's fine. You can do what you want.
Hey, don't kick a team when it's down, Sharun.
As far as concerned, I'm scared that Rolex might started, especially because KDB is injured, right? He might not play. But Walker, maybe I don't think we need him, but he might be needed if he's going back for high pressing defense too. But if he sticks to the same game, the usual stuff, and does not usually take too many risks, I think we'll be fine. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult, especially with KDB going out and then Gundogan coming in, right?
Right.
But what might work out is Klopp usually is he's very defensive sometimes, right? You know what? This is true. He does, because after 2-2, he probably stopped. He was like, it's okay, I'm fine with this.
That is true.
I hope he does that in the beginning.
Yeah. That is true. And Pramod, before we get to the lineups and everything, that is one question I want to ask you. And I think there is a little bit of truth in that as well. In a lot of big games, and this used to happen when we used to play at Old Trafford away a lot, we saw a Liverpool team which was not going completely gung-ho. We saw that in the first half against Manchester City as well. If you remember the Henderson chance, he chose to pass the ball and not shoot, although you could put it down to individual choices. But do you see us being defensive for this particular game?
Not this game. Okay. Because we do well only when nothing is riding on us. We do, that is, I think what makes Liverpool special is you're fearless. You go there, you go out there. It doesn't matter. Names doesn't matter. That's what makes it special. Okay. But now, you're suddenly chasing 4 competitions. Okay. So now you are doubting yourself. But you know what? Despite all this, Klopp actually put up a very risky defense, okay, against City. He was doing zonal, okay? He was doing zonal. He was doing 3v3. He was doing 3v3 in defense, okay? That is very risky, okay? He wanted to go forward. I mean, only in the last 10-15 minutes, Klopp said, okay, you know what? Fine, 2-2 is a good result anyway, okay? But the thing is, they didn't get scared of that, okay? The Klopp wasn't scared of that, okay? Trent was attacked by 2 players, okay? 2 players were scheming Trent, okay? So tactically, Pep was on him, and he didn't back out of that. Klopp kind of, what? Let's persist. Let's still keep doing that, okay? And I feel, I think we'll have an upper hand that for this game.
We'll come to predictions towards the end of this. But Wadi, who is the City player that scares you? The guy that I'm scared of, he's most probably out of this game. And that is my answer for all Manchester City versus Liverpool games. It's Kevin De Bruyne. I am that guy. For me, is the best midfielder in the world right now. I am genuinely very scared for him. But let's hope that he gets better faster. Injuries are never good to ever. But speaking of, which is the City player that worries you? And Sharun, for you for Liverpool, and Pramod, of course, you for City.
So I think Phil Foden is the one, dude. He's that guy who just doesn't give up. He just is. He's gonna come every single time. Okay, and also the way he plays a false 9, right, and in the front of across Man City's front 3, and he's the one that tends to run behind Robbo, or he'll run behind Trent. He will make even runs in between Matip and VVD. We've seen that before. I think for most of the time, KDB was also the guy I feared the most. I thought his passes would be slick and that, but it's the killer blow has turned out to be Foden. And I think if City win, he will either have an assist or a goal, or he'll have a solid contribution. I think that's my take. We need to neutralize Foden. I think rest is okay. Gundogan, I think he's off form. that's why I'm not that scared. But even he's another scary chap.
Tarun, for you?
Two players actually. You know what? You never know when Salah just picks up and he said, "Okay, I'm going to start playing." Right? He almost started showing signs that I'm going to come back in the last City match. So I think that's one scary aspect. Defensively, people will say VVD, but I'm scared of Matip because he's really, really fundamental in this. He's very scary when he tracks back, and especially kind of in the kind of tactics that we have, it's a little scary. Yeah. So Matip, when defensively, Salah on the wing.
Pramod, for you?
Right. So mine one is the Foden, of course. He's wonderful to watch. Actually, I'd love to have him in the team, and huge.
In your fantasy team, you mean?
Yeah.
Let's not go get ahead of ourselves. Don't do that.
You asked for it, Pramod. You asked for this.
Foden and Silva. I feel those two are, and they are always on target for some reason. they never give empty threats.
Right, guys. So we are almost at the end, and we have to do the customary thing, which is talk about our preferred lineup. We'll start with you, Sharun. What lineup would you start with?
Right. So KDB, no KDB, of course, bringing in Gundogan, and you know what? I know you guys are scared of Silva, but I want to bring in Mahrez here. Right, okay. He's a good prospect here. Nathan coming in, okay, Zake coming in because Cancelo is not going to be playing. So Cancelo is going to be playing, Walker may not. So that's one. And I just feel that we can bring in a young talent here, at least on the bench. Could make a very big difference because of the absence of KDB as well. Foden, of course, I want him there, of course, there. And maybe Jesus. I know he can do well. I mean, the kind of prospects that we have, I think he'll link up well with Mahrez. Then the usual sense. These are the changes, of course.
So you're going with Edison, Cancelo,
right.
Nathan Ake. Then
I have Stones and Laporte, of course, in central. Right. I'm not going to change that. Right. I have Gundogan. You know what? If you can bring in Fernandinho in the first match, at least in the beginning, it should give us a little more grit, right? Assuming, like I said, Salah's going to be a little unpredictable here, right? So if Fernandinho comes in, has a more grit in the match, that should work out for us. Only changes that I'm looking from from last Liverpool's match, of course, is Silva not playing and Mahrez coming in, KDB not playing and Gundogan coming in, of course, Walker and Ake.
Walker and Ake. Yeah, and Wadi, what is the team that you and Pramod would be going with?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I'm not sure what team he has in mind, but I think compared to the team that started last week, the main change, probably the only change, has to be Bobby in for Jota. I think against City, you should be a little more direct, a little more on the wings. You need someone to drop deep and then distribute ball to Salah and Mane on the wings. I think Mane is on top form, so no question of who's starting the left wing. Same thing goes for Salah, right? The midfield also, I think Fabzi had a pretty shaky game, okay, but I'll stick to the same mid. I would stick to Thiago, Henderson and Fabinho. I think they still are our best midfield. And I think defense speaks for itself. It has to be Matip and it has to be VVD. They are the best. They have the best coordination in terms of ensuring that it's not breached. So I think that those two will remain unchanged. So for the fullbacks, so I think the only change is Bobby Firmino in for Jota. It's Bobby's game. I think Bobby came to life against Benfica. I think he just needs to show a little bit of that tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Right. Pramod, the same team? Any changes?
No, you know what? I'd like to see a 4-2-3-1. Okay, I'd like to see a 4-2-3-1.
Try different stuff, man.
It would be nice. It will be nice because I feel I had this feeling that he might try this in the Premier League fixture, but I'd like to see this because I'd still have Firmino in as a number 8. So the 4 is the same, And the two midfielders that I would have is I drop Fabzi. I would put Henderson and Keita. And number 8, Firmino as a number 8. And then Salah and Mane, of course, playing the game with center on Diaz. I like Diaz. I think he brings a fresh, perspective to the team. I think it's like that is the new puzzle that the opponents haven't solved yet. I mean, of course, there'll be you can have a 60th, 70th minute substitutions, and you can bring in Jota later. But I'd like to start with Diaz as a lone number 9, like the one number 9, and Salah, Mane, and Firmino as a number 8. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Firmino as a number 8.
Right. Now, to end the podcast and to put you guys on the spot, we come to the spiciest part of it. Sharun, we'll start with you. Score predictions.
2-1 City.
2-1 to City in 90 minutes?
Yes. I don't think we'll go to that one. I don't think so. And I think we'll finish the game with that. Thank you.
All right. Vardy, I'll come to you next.
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 to Liverpool. Okay. And Pramod, my brother, you'll have the last word on this.
1-1. This is going to penalties.
Oh God, that is not good. I mean,
I'm sorry, but it'll be an amazing game. It'll be an amazing game that I can.
Yeah, good for you. Penalties and City don't match well. Why are you trying to do this to us?
Dude, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Liverpool versus City game, from a marketing point of view, any marketer who's watching this is an excellent game for product placement of your, anything to do with like reducing stress. So your term insurance plans, etc. This game is the perfect vehicle for you. But this was Menace in the Monk. But thank you so much, guys, for joining in. This is going to be an absolutely brilliant game. I mean, if you guys have watched this so far, one thing I'd really like you to do is hit the like button. It really helps us as content creators. When you do, the YouTube algorithm helps us put out our content in front of more people, and more people can discover us that way. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, a subscribe would be absolutely amazing. But big shout out to Bangalore Citizens and LFC Bangalore. Please check out their socials. I'll put it up right here and also in the comment section. Please follow them. Sharun, Pramod, Vardy, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Let's hope it's an amazing game, and up the Reds.
Up the Reds.